This is the Freedom Ring.
All right, happy Monday.
Good morning.
Did you have a good weekend?
Absolutely, I did. It was lots of fun.
A lot of stuff coming down over the weekend. Gonna get to some of it, and as much as we can stomach anyway.
We have too much, don't we? Gosh.
Weekends always just so much. And by the way, another Trump rally. This one in, was it North Carolina, I believe, over the weekend?
Did you hear what the final tally was on how many people were
I had
there?
just heard it was another record, and Donald Trump had beat Elvis Presley's record for this particular venue.
Wow.
And so that was saying something. But it just makes me laugh. And when I say it makes me laugh, it makes me almost want to puke, that the mainstream media will not cover any of these Trump rallies with these huge turnouts.
But they cover Biden's with the circles and chairs and the 12 people.
But they keep announcing, all the Democrats in Washington are testing positive. Is anyone else seeing something fishy here?
Like what? What could it be?
Could it be the only the Democrats, and they've been triple vaxxed? And okay, well, if they've been triple vaxxed, according to your original story, they shouldn't still be getting positive test results. Isn't that what they originally hung their hat on?
Yeah.
Before they flip-flopped 17 different times on...
Hey, when one thing dies, you add another one.
We're on to it, man.
Yeah,
you
come on.
don't know what the hell you're talking about. When they try to force feed another pandemic, or as we say, scamdemic, we're not on board. I'm not going back to I'm not putting the douche back on my face. The douche. What was that? I'm not putting the diaper on, is what I was saying. The face diaper. I don't know how that became a douche. Matt smells like a salad today. I'm not sure why.
Oh, God.
Right out of the gate.
Oh.
Good morning. This is the Freedom Ring. I'm Matt. That's Bill.
And by the way, before you get started, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I mean, we're growing.
Yes, we are.
We are growing. I don't know, in the last
week
we've
got eight listeners now.
Well, yeah, we doubled.
No, we're doing good, and we need you to spread the word. When you see us on Rumble, subscribe, share, and subscribe. Share, and subscribe.
Let everybody
Please.
about this. Let them know about this channel, because we want to grow. We want to monetize.
Share with your liberal friends, and I don't say that to be facetious either. I say that to hopefully get some other people on board and pull their head out of the sand.
Yes.
And realize with the rest of us in America and worldwide, I mean, there's other European countries that have obviously caught on. There's uprisings all over the planet, but mainstream media doesn't want you seeing it.
No, we actually are kind of working around the world right now. We got a lot of folks all over the place watching us. I've seen Japan, Hong Kong, China. Oh, gosh.
Welcome. Toluto. Spray.
I give up on you.
You can't do that in America. That's insensitive.
Matino.
All right, before the moment of faith, coming up on today's show, what was really going on while Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, the renaming of America, and is a Biden regime change coming? We could only hope, right? So we're live on Rumble, Bitchute as well later on, Spotify. You can just search the Freedom Ring. You can get us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. We're all over the place. All the information is at the website, freedomringshow.com. So your moment of faith, as if you're new to the show, we like to start it off with something positive because the world is just beyond twisted and evil. This one comes to us from Romans 8, verse 28. God promises to make something good out of the storms that bring devastation to your life. One more time. God promises to make something good out of the storms that bring devastation to your life. And I think that applies to what the entire world is seeing right now. We are being devastated by evil, perversity, war, lack of morals, it's just beyond mind-boggling to me. I really can't believe the world I grew up in has turned into this.
And it's happened so quickly. I guess it's been happening all along, and we just didn't see it. But then you wake up one day and you see, like, where's my world?
And some of the people have Donald Trump to thank for speeding that process up because, as we've said in previous shows and other people have already confirmed it, this was supposed to play out over 16 years, nice and slow. 8 with Obama, 8 with Hillary. And like we said, it's a lot easier to get you to turn your head slowly and not realize the change is happening.
Not see it, yeah.
Donald Trump came in. They did not expect him to win that first term, and he knew what their plan was and then made everything. I mean, the gas prices were awesome. You had more money in your wallet. We weren't at war. I don't have the checklist in front of me of how awesome things were and all the things he actually did.
Yeah.
And increased, he did for the economy. And
despite all the garbage that was going on to
and
be
he
attacked.
he was being attacked every 3 minutes. There was a court proceeding.
Yeah.
And none of it's been proven true. None of it.
And he makes a phone call and gets impeached. But Biden makes phone calls too, and it's just silence.
Right.
And do you hear
the hypocrisy is just beyond. I would like to say it's funny, but it's not. It's disgusting.
And do you hear us, as the other side, the conservative side, complaining? Yeah, we're complaining, but we're not on the sidewalk with our eyes up screaming, like that girl did.
Yeah, that lady when it was announced that Trump won.
The snowflakes
right.
are...
Honey, dial it back. 4 more years, you come back into the arena and you win the competition. All right, dial it down. And you're in your mid-50s.
And of all people that should be complaining, it should be us, considering the fact that the election, as you know, I'm not going to say it, but you know what happened.
Yeah, we were date raped, literally.
Literally, yeah.
10 o'clock. Well, let's go to bed, honey. He's sweeping this one. 3:30 in the morning. Everything's changed.
It's like devastation.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. Oh, honey, we have a new president.
Right. Yeah. That guy that can't spell his own name, he's running things now.
He won. You mean
the hell out of here.
The hula hoop guy with the rings on the ground. That's what I like to call him, the hula hoop guy. It's insane.
Bumbling fool.
Yeah.
He's an elderly man. How can you say that? Because he preceded it with 50 years of criminality, lies, and nothing good.
Yeah.
Nothing good.
And we're seeing the effects of that right now.
So back to our moment of faith. That's what we're not supposed to do with this, man.
What?
See what they're doing? This is supposed to be like that leading moment of goodness going into the show.
Well, I can see your halo.
My brother-in-law actually suggested over the weekend. He texted me. I was like, hey, he's loving the show. And I said, he said his one suggestion is to take this moment of faith and put it at the end of the segment. And I was like, you know what? That does make sense.
We can sell it. There is hope, and we'll talk about it at the end.
But I really want people to know that I want them to have God front and center up front. You know what I mean? At the start of it. Because that's where God should be. At the start of everything. The start of your day. The start of your thoughts. The start of your marriage.
Yeah.
The start of your life. The start of everything. I want him to be the start of the show. But my brother-in-law brings up a good point. It's like you drag him through the depths of hell with all these stories of what's going on in the world. Mainstream media is not covering. And then you kind of bring them up at the end and have them go about their day. But let's give this formula a little more time.
Okay.
All right.
If you insist.
I have to remind everybody, God promises to make something good out of the storms that bring devastation to your life. And it's up to us to turn things around individually. We've got to have more faith. He is going to turn things around, but he needs our help. First, he needs our help individually, and then we have to realize, like I believe we said on Friday's show, that there are more of us You can't fear what people are going to say about you or what they're going to think about you, because chances are they agree with you. I've told my kids since they were little, 99% of the things you worry about will never happen. So if you're thinking people, I don't want to take my mask off because I'm afraid of being chastised in the checkout line. I'm going to bet that there's more people thinking exactly the way you think.
Would cheer you on.
And would say, all right, well, that lady took it off. I'm taking mine off.
Just start it, yeah.
I went through the first 72 years of my life without needing one. Now suddenly I need one because this midget Fauci guy from New York says I have to put it on.
It's not worth the damage that you're giving to the younger generation who I've read are fearful of even taking their mask off. It's terrible. Do you want your child to grow up with a mask on for the rest of their life, which will be short because their immune system will pay the price for it?
And just the social interaction.
Yeah, and that too.
Not breathing in the...
Can you imagine?
Your recycled air.
Mom, I met the woman of my dreams.
What does she look like? No idea. She's got this big baby blue square.
And she had a beautiful shirt on. And I like her hair.
And when she says,
I didn't understand a word she said. I loved it.
Right. That could be true love. A wife you can't understand. Back to our moment of faith.
Lord, forgive us.
Again, you have to laugh because we have other people emailing us.
I should say our dear wives, please forgive us.
Our wives understand us. I know my wife does.
Mine doesn't. Go ahead.
Your wife doesn't speak English.
I know I understand.
I'm not saying it. Last time I impersonated your wife, I got in trouble, and I'm not touching it. She is a sweetheart.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart. No, but my wife understands my twisted sense of humor, so I'm not worried about that. And
mine says I'm like a child.
Are you sure that's what she said?
Yeah. Well, that's true. I didn't translate it. I just went the best I could.
She may have said lettuce grows wild.
That's what she said. I know it.
Bill,
lettuce grows wild.
All right. So we've got other people emailing us, not understanding why we laugh. You'll go insane with this stuff. So you have to take the edge off, right?
We got to break it up a little bit, and plus we're whacked out anyway, so it just comes natural, right?
Here we go. Ready?
Go ahead.
You're pushing me down the river of mud here. While you were distracted by Will Smith, the international elitists met around the world at the World Government Summit. Guests included Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum, one of the most evil and vile creatures on the planet. I can't even refer to this dude as a human being.
No.
I mean, if you have his thought process and you can justify your thought process, something went wrong. I don't know if it went wrong in the womb. I don't know if he's got severe daddy issues, but the way this dude thinks and speaks is just off the rails.
Insane.
From March 28th to the 30th, corporate media journalists, heads of state, and CEOs of some of the most profitable companies in the world met for discussions on shaping the direction of the next decade and beyond. Anyone with a functioning brain, they say, should ignore the tabloids and instead pay attention to this little-known gathering of globalist technocrats. I had seen, and I don't know if it was this most recent meeting, but they panned the crowd. In the front row was Leonardo DiCaprio and our current president and the first wife.
Really?
Yeah. That was just as disturbing as what they were discussing. And I'm not sure if the video that I saw, but I clearly saw Leonardo DiCaprio and the Bidens in the front row. I'm not sure if it was this particular meeting. Could have been a former meeting, but the fact that they're even on board with any of this speaks volumes, I believe. During Schwab's short talk, he mentioned his pet project, the Fourth Industrial Revolution. where digital surveillance is omnipresent and humanity uses digital technology to alter our lives. Often associated with terms like the Internet of Things, the Internet of Bodies, the Internet of Humans, and the Internet of Senses, this world will be powered by 5 and 6G technology. When he says the world, he means you.
Yeah.
Like physically you.
Say nano particles.
Not just your cell phone, you.
You. Connected to the Internet.
Of course, for Schwab and other globalists, the 4IR, again, Fourth Industrial Revolution, also lends itself towards more central planning and top-down control. The goal is a track and trace society where all transactions are logged. This isn't us just reading something. This is something that was discussed
and planned
and aired. I mean, recorded. You can find these videos. It's not... Please use this for more than just playing Wordle. Please.
Yes.
Because that's what they want you to do, is just sit there going, That's what they want you to do. It has the ability to give you more information. Seek it. The goal is a track and trace society where all transactions are logged. Every person has a digital ID that can be tracked, and social malcontents. Am I saying that right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks. Because Bill knows. Malcontents are locked out of society via social credit scores. One of the panels discussed was entitled "The Invisible Government: Eliminating Bureaucracy Through Technology." Check this out. Making the government invisible will actually lead to a world of no accountability for government and politicians. The technocrats imagine a world where the tyrannical technological systems are invisible and the average person has zero recourse for preventing exclusion or punishment based on their social credit score. The only way this vision will not come to pass is if the people of the world throw their televisions away, ignore the celebrity drama, Will Smith, Chris Rock, although I really don't want to put Chris Rock. I don't know if it's because I'm such a big fan of Chris Rock. I don't know why. Will Smith, throw him out. And his wife, throw him out with this. Mm-hmm. Chris Rock, was he in on it? You'd think, I don't know. And then start exiting from these slavery systems. If you've ever, we got Easter coming up this coming weekend. And there's a lot of biblical movies being aired around the world. All of them. You can see where they have, the Roman Empire and all the slaves, which was society. Mm-hmm. That's what they want to get back to.
Yeah.
And I do believe there's a certain section of our country in the United States, the most spoiled group of people.
Yeah.
One of which I am. I mean, it's easy to live here and become complacent. I could see how some people can't even fathom that there are other people on the planet right now that just physically aren't allowed to go next door to ask for a cup of sugar. That sounds bizarre to you and me. You can't go next door. Yeah, it isn't happening on the planet right now. It's been happening forever. You've got these types of governments. Mm-hmm. And that's what they want, is that type of, from top down, worldwide, not just country, this country's doing it, that country's doing it. They want it worldwide. Mm-hmm. And I understand that you might not be on board to be able to imagine that yet, but what else is it going to take?
You got to start thinking that way.
To see that it's shifting that way.
Yeah. To make sense of what's going on, what we're experiencing, you have to open your mind and try to figure this thing out.
And the economy and COVID.
Yeah.
And the war in Ukraine, it's all tied together. These aren't separate occasions. They're all being handed to you by the same group of evil creations.
I just go back to the Bible.
I look down to the moment of faith and I'm like, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
I go back to the Bible and what Revelation tells me. That's always in my mind these days to help make sense of what's going on. And some say this isn't the time yet. But then you see patent numbers like 6666 and, the whole nanoparticles. I told you this once before. Were you aware? Now, maybe I'm wrong, but it's something to think about. One time, I was in a Walmart or something, and I pulled up my Bluetooth to turn it off to save my battery. And I just happened to glance down, and there was all of these ID numbers.
Oh, you did tell me this.
All of these IDs listed at the bottom, like I had never connected to them. They were available. So I'm like, what is this? So I tried to connect to them, and it said, after about 15 to 20 seconds, it errored out, and it said, you must have the app to connect to this. And it didn't say, a lot of these Bluetooth identities will say, Samsung 5G or, whatever, Roku or just whatever, an actual name.
You were thinking it's people standing around you that have gotten the jab.
Exactly.
That are giving off that radiation. I mean, those codes.
Yeah, the EMF or whatever, they're radiating a number, and you can actually connect to them. And I'm like...
the app hasn't been made available yet. I don't know if
us.
Will it ever be made available to us? Because they're saying that's how they're going to be able to shut you off if you travel too far away from your house in your electric car. I mean, do you see how it's all going that way?
And there's the naysayers like, you're crazy, that blah, blah, blah. So I left the store and all the numbers went away until a car went past me, and then another number popped up for a little distance, and then it disappeared. And then you go into a carryout, and boom, 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 boom. There's another 15 or 20 that pop up, and you're thinking, this is a carryout. How many Bluetooths can they have?
You know what you need to do is go somewhere there is no people and just look at it.
Like right here.
And then walk. Well, I'm here. Well, I also don't have that.
Yeah.
And then walk into a place that is loaded with people and just watch it go nuts. And if that is the case, you might be onto something.
And to confirm it, if you go to a friend's house and there's just two of them, husband, wife, or whatever, just when they're in the other room, just pull it up and see if you see two IDs. Because they've been vaxxed. It's very, very interesting, and I'll tell you what, folks, I believe it.
It would stand to reason. It would make sense.
Yeah. Try it, and let us know. We want to hear from you. freedomringshow@gmail.com.
All right.
Okay, so on to bigger and better things. How about a regime change? Now we're talking, baby. It's supposedly underway. Several days ago, Biden called for regime change in Russia. You might remember that, begging Russia's military generals to remove Putin from power. Of course, that didn't happen. But what's happening now instead is that America's intelligence community generals are now moving against Joe Biden. In a twist, new intel reveals the three-letter agencies have come to the realization that if they don't stop Biden's acceleration and destruction of America, they'd all be wiped out as America collapses. Since then, the Washington Post and CNN took action that confirmed all of this by running bombshell stories that exposed details from Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. Allegedly, this is all being done in prep for Biden's removal from power. So the same corporate media that lied and covered up the truth about the Biden crime family has now been ordered to unleash the truth about the Bidens in preparation for Biden's removal from office.
Can't happen soon enough.
It can't.
It never should have happened.
Now, it's not clear exactly how he's going to be removed, but the action is apparently imminent.
Why can't we just go and say, dude, you didn't win? Done.
I mean,
what's
the problem?
We know you didn't win. We know it was rigged.
What I can't understand is
when Dominion is saying, no, don't look. Dude, that's a dead giveaway, man. I mean, if you're playing cards, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're playing a football game.
Come on, man. Come on.
And you're questioning something. You've got instant replay to prove that, no, it was a legitimate first down. We can watch it all day long from 17 different angles. But when it comes to the election of the President of the United States, no, there's nothing to see. Bullshit. Bullshit.
What do you think? I always ask myself, why in the hell haven't they decertified? Why hasn't one state? They all know. They all know that it was a rigged election.
Yes. They were all in on it.
So why is no state taking the step yet? Are these things going on in the background? We can't see it?
Mike Lindell was speaking over the weekend in North Carolina. Wasn't the part that was televised, but I got the Cliff Notes. It is. The states already are. The information is just not being conveyed to you or me. But it's happening.
That's what I wonder, because I've heard that too, that there are things going on in the background that nobody sees. And what is it going to be? Just decertification across the board, and one day we wake up and they all said decertify. What has the mainstream media deemed Mike Lindell? A nut job. A nut job,
okay.
Yeah.
When in your lifetime has the media not just wrapped their arms around a nut job and just exposed? Okay, why are they burying this one?
Yeah.
Why are they keeping this one from you?
And what's going to happen there? Is that part of the plan, the White Hat's plan, to make him look like a wacko? And then one day, boom, something really happens with him.
Oh, you mean negative?
No, positive.
Oh.
Where
well, it's happening. I mean, Trump has to let the pieces fall.
The normies wake up. Yeah, I know. You freaking wake up. I'm tired of this, man. I want to go take a nap. I want to take a nap.
I want my job back.
No, you don't.
I'm not saying anything. We sound like a couple of kooks, man.
I saw the first video.
I do want my job back.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
This time I'm going to run the place.
There you go.
All right, going from that whacked out story to this whacked out story, a Disney official said that during a virtual conference on the company's Reimagine Tomorrow. I don't want to reimagine tomorrow because today's just fine. Their Reimagine Tomorrow initiative, that they will be working with their benefits team to assist employees and their children with obtaining gender affirmation procedures, which typically include puberty blockers, breast removal, and genital reassignment surgery. Now, keep in mind, their minds and bodies aren't even done developing yet, and they want to artificially alter this. Where is the uprising of parents telling them to go F themselves?
I think about when I was a kid in high school. I was too busy checking out the chicks to think about ABC, blah, 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 plus LGBTQRNP, LMNOP. Yeah, I mean, doesn't nature drive you to the opposite sex automatically? And I guess, of course, it does, unless you're brainwashed. And apparently, in the schools, they've been brainwashing our kids for a long time.
Well, the brainwashing in schools, yes, but I would say, there's been gay people forever.
There has one out of every high school or something. The numbers have been critically low.
But I could see how people would be drawn to the same sex. It's just
I can't.
Well, you can, and I can't.
I can't comprehend it.
I'm just basically saying I'm aware that there's been gay people for a long ass time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Doesn't go any further than that. The altering of minds and bodies at the age of 5, 6, 7, and 8, that's beyond evil and twisted.
It is.
That's just, I can't comprehend that. And I don't want to comprehend that. I don't want it forced on kids that can't yet comprehend that. My kids are already past this stage. Thankfully, my kids are looking at it going, wow, that's pretty jacked. It is jacked. It's part of the agenda. It's a part of reprogramming society.
It's a natural process to discover who you are as you grow up. And the natural process would include the way God made us, and
leave it at that. Get out of the way, man.
Exactly.
Hey, Bill Gates, shut the hell up.
Yeah. And leave your flies, shove them up your...
You're not qualified for anything. No one elected you. We don't need to even hear you. Hell, your wife was done hearing you and she left.
Or was that part of another plan?
We could go on.
We could go on forever, man.
So the nut job, Jen Psaki, called the controversial gender procedures, quote, life-saving.
Oh, yeah.
And said the Department of Justice and Health and Human Services has put legislators who seek to limit their availability, quote, on notice, citing that such actions may violate federal law. Across the country, Republican elected officials are engaging in a disturbing, cynical trend of attacking vulnerable transgender kids and purely partisan political, Let me say that again. Transgender kids for purely partisan political reasons. I think your side is actually doing that.
Yeah.
Everything the left accuses others of doing is usually what they're doing.
Exactly, the 180 thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Russia. No, that wasn't Trump. It was Hillary. There's one example.
Yeah.
But more insanity out of Disney, man. Unbelievable.
Well, NBC News on Wednesday evening casually admitted that the intelligence Biden released claiming Russia was planning a false flag operation as a pretext to invade Ukraine was totally made up. There were also claims of chemical weapons of Russia let me back up. There were also claims of chemical weapons or Russia asking China for help. Apparently, that was all made up. NBC's Ken Dilanian, one of Biden's regime's most loyal stenographers, tried his best to spin this in a positive light, saying it doesn't have to be solid intelligence when we talk about it.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It's more important to get out ahead of them, Putin specifically, because before they do something.
So now they're justifying him
lying.
Well, speaking out of turn and having to spend the rest of the weekend conveying what he meant.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they're justifying it. Oh, it doesn't have to be accurate. We just got to say something.
It's like this is fake news and propaganda,
So now they're not even hiding it.
No.
It doesn't have to be accurate.
Boy, they quit hiding everything, a year ago? I don't know. It goes on to say, let's see, Putin specifically, before they do something, it's preventative. A U.S. intel official told NBC News. Recall, Associated Press reporter Matt Lee called out State Department spokesman Ned Price over claims Russia was planning a false flag operation in order to invade neighboring Ukraine. Matt Lee wasn't buying it and accused the State Department of fabricating evidence. He says, you have shown no evidence to confirm that. I mean, this is like crisis actors. Really? This is like Alex Jones territory you're getting into, Matt Lee said.
You ever see that video of Pelosi where she is in front of the media and she justifies creating a story? She has a term for it, and that spaces me right now, but we'll put out the narrative. And she points to the media, you guys will take that story, create the story, and then once you guys create the story in your papers, it justifies us.
Their actions. Yeah, I did see that.
Out of complete BS, and she acknowledges it.
Well, that's why they've written so many phony different things, like the Lancer report on, was it masks? That masks were so safe and effective. And then they jumped on that as their narrative because, look, the Lancet report said that they were safe and effective.
But we got the information from the lie you told us last week. Well, you guys printed it.
Exactly.
So we just reacted to what you printed.
They justify everything that the media reports on as their plan to go after and do what their narrative. Their narrative.
Here we are trying to live life just obeying laws, stay in our own lane. And the people that are creating the laws and spending the living hell out of our money are on record lying and breaking every law. Now, because of that one state rep from North Carolina, the guy in the wheelchair.
Cawthorn. Cawthorn, yeah.
And he's exposing people that are at these cocaine-fueled orgies, and they're all mad.
McCarthy, that didn't happen
because they're getting called out.
Yeah. More to come. There's going to be a lot more of that coming. I have a feeling as...
No one denied it happened.
No.
They're mad that he's talked about it. You know what I'm saying? If I would think that your first defense would be like, that never happened. He's lying. That wasn't said. He's like, well, we're pissed because he just told people what we did.
The right side needs to start making a lot louder noise than what the left side has been doing. You agree?
Yeah.
We should be screaming.
I would have said that 20 years ago.
Yeah. It's always driven me crazy, but I also think that was planned too. They're, I'd say 80% of the Republicans in office are really Democrats, rhinos, and that explains why they never do anything, because they don't want to. It's not part of their plan. Right?
It's the gravy train.
Yeah.
They're on a paid vacation, man.
Yep.
They just have to campaign just stick some lies in your face every once in a while, and once they're voted back in. I mean, look at any large city in America. Almost all of them are run by Democrats, right?
A lot of them, yeah.
They're all the depths of it. They all look like little Baghdad.
Yeah.
So what's the common thread here? The common thread is they got a big D in front of their name. So stop voting for them.
Please. Please. But I also don't think...
you get?
Well, I also don't think that... I mean, I used to think that, but I don't think a lot of people are voting for them. They're simply installed. Once they get the initial power from the initial vote, they never leave. They're around forever. I mean, seldom leave.
Like cockroaches.
Yeah.
Literally like cockroaches.
Yeah.
All right, one more time. God promises to make something good out of the storms that bring devastation to your life. Natural News reports the United States Air Force is about to throw away millions of dollars worth of taxpayer money by preventing trained and experienced pilots from returning to active duty due to their refusal to abide by Biden's COVID mandates. Boy, that would have been something to see on the news.
You think?
Didn't see that at all. That doesn't just waste more of your money, but also weakens our country a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
This is according to an ongoing lawsuit against the administration's mandate for all members of the military. The lawsuit was brought forward by 36 members of the Air Force, the Air Force Reserve, and the Air National Guard. Of these, 17 are trained, experienced pilots. According to the RAND Corporation, the Air Force spends around $5.5 million to train a single pilot. This means that the armed forces will throw away over $93.5 million of your money spent on training. A similar situation is going on in the Army. According to figures released back in early February, more than 3,300 service personnel could be discharged due to the mandate. As of January 26th, some 3,350 active duty soldiers have refused to get vaccinated. Of those, 3,073 were issued official reprimands, suggesting they could have already been discharged by this time. It costs around $58,000 to recruit, screen, and train soldiers in the Army. This means that if all 3,350 soldiers are discharged, the Army will be forced to spend $194.3 million of your money to replace them.
With liberals.
Do you not want to hear that story? can you justify that not being mentioned on your news last night, be it local or national?
And do you see what the heck is going on?
Where the hell is this story, man?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing going on as long as I get to go boating on the lake this weekend, and
Yeah,
I got my 12-pack of Coors Light.
What's for supper?
Screw it.
Yeah. I ain't got time for that.
What are the lottery numbers?
It's disgusting. You know, for Marxism to take hold, everything that came before it has to be burnt to the ground, as we're waking up to find out.
Ooh, that kind of ties into this, doesn't it? God promises to make something good out of the storms that bring devastation to your life.
You know, as I read this story, it takes a lot of faith to believe that. You know, but when you have nothing left but faith, it's like, okay, I can't control any of this that's going on.
Yes,
Honestly,
we can. Yes, we can.
Through prayer
and bonding.
Yeah.
Speaking up first individually. I'm actually glad it's coming back around into these in between the stories. Speaking up individually and not caring about what other individuals may
think
or may not say.
Yeah.
That's something that whenever my son says, well, he might say, well, that means he might not, too. If they might say something, they might not say something. If they might disagree with you, that means they also might agree with you.
Don't change who you are because of that. Honestly.
No. It's time we represent individually, and then together in numbers, we're unstoppable.
That's right. We the people.
With him leading the way, unstoppable.
Absolutely.
Because this evil regime does not represent the masses. They do not.
No. But they know. They know what you just said is true. Stick together, and they do.
Which is what they did. What did they do when this all broke? Stay at home. Separate. 6 feet. It's playing out right in front of you. If you can't grasp this...
Yeah. I can see a meeting that they had probably at Davos, and they all agreed. Like, we've got to stick together to make this plan work. And they do. You remember, was it when Trump was in the House and he did the what do they call that public talk that he does every year? State of the Union. State of the Union. Yeah. I'm sorry, folks, but anyway, do you remember the evil in that room? Do you remember how the Democrats?
One? I mean, he did multiple.
I don't know, probably all of them. I think it was all of them where he would speak and you'd see the Republicans on the side, we need to stand up and make abortion go away, and all the Republicans stand up and they're clapping and applauding, and then you see all the evils. They don't even look at you.
Right. That's every State of the Union address. You see half the audience come up, half the audience go down.
But not in the past. I never saw it so bad until Trump got in. And it was so evil.
Everything was at a different level with him. But no, I remember seeing Reagan when I was little. I would say, why is only half the room sticking up? And my dad would say, because the other half's a bunch of assholes.
I had never seen anything so bad. Yeah.
I never realized how much wisdom my dad had.
But I saw that, and I'm like, I was just like blown away how evil it was.
Well, the evil was sitting over his left shoulder.
Well, yeah, tearing up papers, right?
And trying to fix her dentures.
So back to the story, talking about the changing names and that sort of thing. This has been proven across the culture from iconic food brands like Aunt Jemima when they changed the name of that, and it's gone now, to sports where the Cleveland Indians have gone the way of the doo-doo, all across areas. The liberal left is on a crusade to cancel everything that poses any sort of threat to its narrative, usually by employing the standard, racist BS. So this is what they're doing right now. They've actually formed a task force.
Jeez. There's a wasted tax dollars.
This task force solely focuses on derogatory geographic names announced that the U.S. will be renaming a whopping 660 mountains, rivers, and other landmarks in order to remove all traces of racist language, or you might say of our history, truth be known.
We don't have to refer to them as the new names.
No, and I won't.
There's certain concert venues, I'll use it as an example, that have a big corporate logo on the side of it. Like, for instance, up in Detroit, there's this outdoor amphitheater that I grew up going to concerts. We called it Pine Knob. And it's known, they went back to Pine Knob just recently. It was for years known as the DTE Music Center. There's a younger generation that know it as the DTE.
Yeah.
But those of us that have been around for a while, it's always been Pine Knob. Same thing for Indianapolis. Their version of Pine Knob would be Deer Creek. I think it's the Ruoff something Insurance Music Center. It's like 3 miles long. It doesn't fall off the tongue. You call it Deer Creek.
Yeah.
It's Deer Creek.
It's because they get sponsors for all these venues now, right?
So getting back to this, we don't necessarily have to call it whatever they think we should call it.
And we shouldn't.
We'll just go back to what it was originally called. And how come we can't look at our nation's history and acknowledge the bad times and be proud of how far we've come?
Absolutely.
Where's the pride? That's pride.
One of the words that they're removing.
Things have gotten better.
Yeah, they have.
So let's acknowledge it and embrace it.
Yeah, but they don't want you to know that. They want you to think that everything's terrible. And so we got to come in and change everything.
Screw you.
Exactly. They've removed the word squaw. And now they've been under orders that anytime that word comes up, to replace it with SQ underline, underline, underline. I mean, it's what is a squaw? Isn't that an Indian, a female?
Just the hearing the word reminds me of it's got to be some Native American reference.
Yeah,
so common sense there, but I don't know exactly what it means.
So I'm not real sure. I said female. I'm really not sure either. But so they're wanting to remove females from society, right? By replacing girls' sports teams with men. And now they're wanting to remove the Native Americans from America by slowly removing names like squaw. Let's deeming it racist BS.
When you say Indian, American Indian, or Native American, I think of the epitome of strength.
Me too.
I don't think anything that, and for them to force that definition of weakness and thievery, and did some of that happen? Yep.
Sure.
Unfortunately.
We're human.
People that did it suck.
Yeah.
But when you say Cleveland Indians, I think we're paying homage. Unless there's a Native American that can tell me otherwise and, convince me otherwise, but
it's a name.
I don't think anything weak. I think of complete strength. I'm trying to pull up dictionary.com here so we can actually get the definition of squaw. And this phone I'm on sucks, man. Can you do it?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to get the last story started. Just get the definition of squaw. It's got to be SQUAW, right?
That's right.
Back on December 6th of 2021, Robert Kennedy Jr. spoke before the Louisiana House Committee on Health and Welfare regarding the data behind adverse events following receipt of the COVID shots, as the committee pondered whether to force school children to take the jab before being readmitted to school. If you look at their post-licensing record, it confirms that it's the deadliest vaccine ever made, he says. These are the VAERS reports for 30 years. Check this out. This is the last 8 months. There are more people who've died in 8 months from this one vaccine than from 72 other vaccines over the last 30 years. Let me say that again. This is according to Robert Kennedy Jr. These are the VAERS reports for 30 years. This is the last 8 months. There are more people who've died in 8 months from this one vaccine than from 72 other vaccines over the last 30 years.
And I hear this stuff, and all I can think of is moms and parents are still giving this to their children.
And Biden is saying, come on, man, it's free. It's free. Come on, man, it's safe. And then Fauci going, well, you should do everything I don't do. That sounded like an old Andrew Dice Clay character.
Yeah, you were way off on that one, man.
So anyway, now what we're finding is that the people who are most likely to suffer heart attacks are children. If you look at this graph, he says, what you'll see is that the younger you are, the more likely you'll get myocarditis. 50% of people who get myocarditis, according to historical data, will be dead or require a heart transplant within 5 years. So let's continue getting our kids the shots. No. He says 373 children for every million who take the COVID shots will develop myocarditis, with roughly half of those children ultimately dying as a result. Stop taking your kids to get the shot. If you understand what we're saying, forward this video to someone that leans left and is still on board with this crap, that is trying to take their kids to get the shot. God!
I know. What does it take?
Whereas, when it comes to coming down with COVID, Kennedy explained that the death rate for healthy children was 3 per million, with no reported deaths of healthy children under the age of 5 in the same study. But yet Joe Biden, Tony Fauci, and every other scumbag on Pfizer's payroll keeps demanding you get it.
It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
What's the definition of squaw?
I was right. It's a Native American woman, but especially a wife.
Oh, well, you mean a Native American birthing person?
I'm sorry,
Come
man.
on, Bill.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble complying.
What decade are you in?
I need to be re-educated.
Yeah.
I can't understand any of it.
Here, let's start with this shot.
Please, may I have another? Oh, my God. Okay, so it's also known to be offensive slang, a woman or a wife. I've never thought enough about it to be offensive. I mean, a squaw is a female Indian. That's as much as I've ever thought about it.
I just said it. Birthing person. Would you please get with the rest of us?
I will not comply.
Stay with the group?
I won't do it.
God.
I won't do it.
Archie Bunker over here. So stuck in 1975.
Oh, well.
And all your
get over it.
Narrow-minded thoughts.
Get over it.
All right. Let's wrap up.
Yeah.
One more time. God promises to make something good out of the storms that bring devastation to your life. That could be, obviously, what we're seeing in the world, your marriage, your career. Good days are ahead. Gotta have faith.
One thing I always try to remember.
As much insanity that we just went through today, you have to have faith. Have faith individually. Have faith in the masses. Lean on God. And we gonna get there.
And know God is in control.
Yes.
And also another thing that I always think about is, why does Trump always say the best is yet to come? And I also...
He knows, man.
I know he knows. He knows everything. He was the president of the United States. He knows absolutely everything that there is to know. And he's
letting it all play out.
Yeah, he's letting it play out. He knows the best is yet to come. So I keep my faith in that.
What sucks is we have to wait, because there's a lot of us that are like, okay, I see it. Ready for the next chapter. Yeah. Turn the page.
It's like, Trump, can't you just tell us what is this best thing?
Done with the movie.
Yeah. I don't want any more popcorn. You give me one more bucket of popcorn, I can't take it.
Roll the credits!
I don't want butter either.
Son of a... Have a great day. God bless you. Be good to each other. Do something good for somebody else and soak in that au jus. That is the feeling of being a good person.
And any emails you want to send them to this guy over here, will you?
It's the same email address. It doesn't matter.
That's right. Hey, we're on the web, freedomringshow.com. Also, you can listen to us live. We do FM 1 hour before we do this show every morning, 9 until 10 on ClassX Radio. And you can reach that, classxradio.com. Some of the best deep classic rock you've ever heard. Be sure when you go to any of our sites to subscribe, like, and please share with everybody that you know so we can grow. You can watch us every day on Rumble at 10:05 a.m. We're also on Bitchute and YouTube, which is kind of a joke. They've got us so massively suppressed that it's like, oh, huh.
YouTube is a joke.
It's like he comes in and how many did we get on YouTube? I'm like, we got 2 today.
Yeah.
Wow, we doubled.
The other platforms are like off the chart. 2.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah. You don't really exist. We're also on Spotify now, which is awesome. We're on Amazon Music, Samsung Podcast Index, Listen Notes, RSS.com, and of course, Apple Podcast and Google Podcasts. You could join us on Facebook on our group or our page. We've got 2 different pages there, a group and page.
Hey, I got the definition of squaw. About 30 minutes late.
Awesome. I don't want to hear it.
Let's wrap it up. They know where you can get us.
And we're on Gab.com and also the new Bastion and now TikTok.
We're running out of music, dude.
Well, I can play another song. Emails freedomringshow@gmail.com. Have a wonderful day.
Later.